Right. So 5 days back, nobody was giving Team India a chance in the Asia Cup. India came in as a second best outfit, and now within a week or so, what a turnaround it has been. They are back in form. The momentum is with Team India. Two back-to-back victories. Although we suffered a loss yesterday, but the victories against Pakistan and Sri Lanka should give the boys enough confidence to go on and win this final against Sri Lanka tomorrow. To discuss further, I am now joined by cricket commentator and presenter Rohit Kumar. Rohit, thank you for joining me. What do you take? What's your take on this, and what do you make of Team India going into this competition so far?
Hi, Junaid. As you mentioned, firstly, nobody gave India a chance first. When nearly, India played Pakistan in their first encounter. Out of nowhere, India actually suffered, a batting collapse. I would like to call it maybe. So from there on, the way they have traveled through this tournament, with the likes of Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill getting back to form in that Nepal game. And from there, Rohit Sharma continuing his extraordinary form with an excellent bowling attack of Pakistan. And in fact, the way they dominated Pakistan, maybe the way I would like to call it. So 200 run victory is definitely all dominating that particular game. So from there on, with the likes of Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli getting back to form, and with the likes of KL Rahul performing, and an excellent win against Sri Lanka. In fact, defending a lower total, and Kuldeep Yadav being an asset to the side, and with Jasprit Bumrah getting back to his old rhythm, things are going really good for India.
The main thing that I have noticed, Rohit, in this tournament is all the six batters have scored. You have Shubman Gill, who scored a brilliant 100 yesterday, but though it went in vain, but you cannot take the credit away from him. That was a brilliant 100. Then Rohit, back-to-back 50s, and Virat Kohli scoring that marvelous 100. KL Rahul getting that 100. Ishan and Hardik getting a bit of form. So you have the momentum shifting back to towards Team India, and they are looking a properly gelled up unit now just before the World Cup. This was something that was missing for the past a year or year and a half, I would say. What do you make of it?
Correct, Zilan. Yeah, actually, they have become a well-oiled unit. In fact, I really feel that they have found their right 11. Maybe they have found their combination, the right combination. Maybe I would like to put it that way. So with the likes of prior to this Asia Cup, we all had these injuries, with KL Rahul returning after an injury, Jasprit Bumrah coming after an injury. But in this particular tournament, with Rohit Sharma getting back to form, that's one of the biggest assets for Team India, because with the skipper getting back to form with one of the, in fact, getting to his great landmark of 10,000 runs. And we all know that in the 2019 World Cup, what Rohit Sharma did, with that kind of form he is in now, and he's getting back to that touch once again. And with Shubman Gill scoring, against Sri Lanka very recently, and if I'm not wrong, Bangladesh, sorry, with against Bangladesh very recently, and with the likes of the top order performing, Jasprit Bumrah getting back to his original best, Kuldeep Yadav performing. Yes, definitely, they have gelled as a unit, and if they can, go with an icing on the cake, this, they can win the final and take that confidence to the World Cup. In fact, being a home World Cup, nothing better than it for India.
Yeah. Do you think Sri Lanka had fared well in this tournament? How do you see their progress, basically? Because they came into this tournament as a depleted unit, because most of their main bowlers were missing. Hasaranga was out, and now we are hearing that Theekshana won't be playing the final. So
True.
So yeah, I mean, they also have done pretty well, because Pakistan was the clear favorites, but India and Sri Lanka have knocked Pakistan out of the tournament. So what do you see? I mean, do you think it's going to be enough competition for India tomorrow, or how do you see this happening tomorrow, basically?
I definitely feel that it won't be a one-sided contest, because maybe definitely Sri Lanka are capable of getting that upset out of India. Maybe not an upset literally, but definitely emerging as favorites, being a good competition, because playing at Colombo, it's their home conditions. Whatever said and done, yes, it might be similar to subcontinental conditions, but it's their home conditions. They are going to come with that bowling unit, because they have a well planned bowling unit. Maybe with the likes of Tikshana missing, maybe they might struggle a little bit. But watch out for this youngster, Velange, who's bowling
Velalage.
really well.
Yeah.
Velalage, right?
Yeah.
So Velalage doing really well for Sri Lanka. He in fact got 5 wickets, right? He
Yes.
dismantled the Indian batting unit. So he might be a crucial factor for them. And I personally feel that Dhananjay De Silva, he would actually be a very crucial part tomorrow. Maybe it's a very personal opinion from my side, but I think that he's someone who can bat anywhere in that top
Well,
maybe 7.
I think when it comes down to Dhananjay De Silva, I mean, of what I have seen of Dhananjay so far, he is a pretty dangerous player in the first power play, because he has those shots wherein, like, he can utilize those gaps when the field is up. But somehow I feel that, all right, he did play well against India, but then, Jadeja got the better of him in the final. I mean, when it really mattered. So I think Dhananjay up the top would give them an added advantage. But I don't know, for some reason, they are trying with him to play down the order. So that is something that I don't get to see. And plus, Shanaka's batting form, that has been not up to the mark in this tournament so far. He did try to finish the game the other night against Pakistan, but that didn't come off well. I mean, they could have easily lost that game just because of that one bad shot from Dasun Shanaka, right? And I think it's going to be, yes, it's going to be I wouldn't say a close encounter, because it depends on what kind of a wicket Sri Lanka gives,
100%.
right? Or the ACC gives, for that matter, because it was a square turner when India played Sri Lanka in the Super Fours. And now if they go with the same, then they might have that, thinking at the back of their minds, basically, right? That India do have pretty good spinners. So it's, I don't know if it's going to be a batting paradise, because even their batters are in good form. Sadira, Kushal Mendes, right? And though we got just a bit of a glimpse of Kushal Pereira, but he looked pretty dangerous up front against Pakistan. So you never know, because if they end up giving us a good batting track with something for the seam bowlers early on, then you might get to see a high scoring game. Because if you see those first 5 overs or 7 overs through, then there'll be runs for the taking.
Correct, Junaid. But in either of the cases, I feel that both the teams would fare, because if you're gonna give the batting paradise out there, with the likes of both the batsmen, both teams from both the batsmen from both the teams, being in good touch, we are gonna definitely witness a high scoring encounter. And in fact, we can never write off Sri Lanka, even if India can post someone somewhere like a 300 to 350. The Sri Lankan batters are really capable of chasing it. Right, so they nearly bat till number 8. So definitely, that's going to help. And with the other hand, on the other hand, if they are going to give a turner of a wicket, like they produced against the India Sri Lanka match. So if they're going to give such a wicket, it's definitely going to help the spinners. Benefit India especially. I feel that because with the absence of both Tikshana and Hasaranga not being there. Yes, Hasaranga was rolled out in the initial phase of the tournament, but still, with both of their key spinners missing, if India can play Aksar, ahead of Shardul tomorrow, then it's definitely going to help India.
Aksar is injured, so he'll be out. So Washington Sundar has
right. Sorry. Washington Sundar has been replaced, right? Yeah. I'm sorry.
So I think it's going to be difficult to get Washington Sundar straight into the playing 11, because he's just landed today. So tomorrow, I know it's not going to be a huge time difference and other sort of stuff, but he was away from the competition, so straight into the playing 11. That is something which is not likely to happen.
Doubtful.
I mean, that is something that I believe. So what do you think about Shubman Gill, the kind of form that he is in? He's plundering runs at the moment. So I think it was about a 600 in 2023, and
most hundreds for
because
yesterday, I think in the world, right?
Yesterday it looked like he was batting on a completely different track, because you had batsmen struggling on one end, and he was timing the ball so well. So what do you think of him going into the World Cup, especially because it's being played in India? You are going to play a couple of very important games games in Ahmedabad, the script
Ahmedabad,
he
exactly.
likes a lot. And you're going to have a few games wherein you will have high scoring runs. So Shubman Gill getting into
Correct.
form, all right, runs at the top. So that is going to be way too crucial for India.
Correct, Junaid. And in fact, a good thing about both Shubman Gill and I would also like to compliment Rohit Sharma at the other end because they are trying to complement each other.
Yes.
Prior to the Asia Cup, if we remember, there was this press conference given by Rohit Sharma wherein he said that he's going to take his time now from here on.
Yes.
Not take that aggressive approach as he does in the T20s where he goes for from ball one and he wants to get quick runs in that power play. But what they have started to do is, as far as India is concerned, if there is some movement in the ball, if there is some help for the seamers out there, they have no issues. 30 for no loss. They're perfect with that start. But if India tend to target that one bowler in the power play, in turn, they're able to score those runs in the power play. As to answer your question, Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma. In fact, talking about Shubman Gill, I'll tell you something. He started to hit the ball straight down the ground. It's my personal observation. Maybe yesterday, the way he hit those spinners straight down the ground, I think that was his success. Going for the inside out shots. Maybe not going much for across the line, trying to hit the ball over mid wicket or country. Maybe that was one good thing. He's starting to play straight. I'll tell you something, Junaid. If he can bat with this approach, I think in wickets like Chennai, where India are playing Australia, and if I'm not wrong, they are playing England and Lucknow.
Yes.
Where Lucknow, the ball is going to turn. Definitely there's going to be a turner of a wicket. So in those cases, if he's going to approach, his batting approach is like this, it's going to definitely help India. And mind you, India are playing Pakistan at Ahmedabad, a very important game in the context of the tournament. So if they can take this approach, Shubman Gill being in prime form ahead of the World Cup, exciting news for India.
Now, having discussed all that, where would you fit somebody like a Shreyas Iyer? Because you have your first, your top six sorted, right?
Correct.
I mean, Rahul grabbed his opportunity with both hands. So it's going to be a pleasant headache for the team management, right? So Shreyas Iyer, where does he fit in? I mean, who would you replace him with? Or if at all, would a replacement be required? I mean, would you really want to draft in Shreyas Iyer when you have your combination well set and going? I'm not even talking about Surya Kumar Yadav yet. So we'll have to leave him aside for now. Yeah.
Junaid, in my opinion, I would go with this, 11 because for a simple fact that, Shreyas Iyer has lacked game time. Only for that single reason. I mean, and secondly, India prefer left-handed in the middle.
Yes.
And it has worked, against Pakistan when India were, in a crisis situation.
And let me remind you, it has worked, even against Sri Lanka, because Akshar and Rahul, Akshar, though he came late, KL and Ishan did put up that partnership. Otherwise, India looked out of the game early on. So they stood that partnership. Yes. They stood that partnership, and then that worked in our favor. And also then Akshar coming lower down in the order and then scoring those all important 26 runs. I mean, had it not be for his knock and Rohit Sharma's knock, then we looked dead and buried in that game, to be very honest with you.
Correct, Junaid. But I would like to also mention that having a left hand, in fact, India, from the point where we have spoken, about India not having a left-handed in the middle, or trying all of these people talking about playing Tilak Verma out of nowhere, trying to draft him into the World Cup squad. But luckily, India, have found their formula, I guess, so they can actually play 3 left-handers now in the 11. Maybe in a given situation, maybe in a turner of a wicket.
Yes.
You can actually try to play Ishan Kishan, right? You can play Jadeja obviously in the middle, and maybe if you want, you can even play Akshar Patel. And they've gotten Washington Sundar also. They have drafted in case if you can't, if Touchwood, he nothing should happen to him. But if he is ruled out, Akshar Patel is ruled out of the World Cup or something. So they have drafted in Washington Sundar. He's a left-handed who can give you valuable runs definitely.
Definitely, because
so,
I mean,
India,
because I mean,
India
I think
3 left-handers.
Yeah, because I think there would be a variety to our spin, especially with because He's a finger spinner. He goes right-handed, Washington Sundar, and he bats left-handed, and he has a pretty still head while batting. So he can be taken as a proper all-rounder, a proper batting all-rounder. And even Akshar Patel for that matter. So even though, God forbid, if Akshar is ruled out and you draft Washington Sundar in, so you have Jadeja, you have Ishan, and you have somebody like a Washington Sundar. So 3 left-handers. So you can shuffle across because obviously I think Ishan would bat number 4 or 5. Then you will have probably 7 Jadeja and then 8 Washington Sundar. So somebody like a Washington Sundar coming at number 8 with the kind of bat flow he has, it's going to be an asset to the squad. Because let me remind you, because it's been, I mean, the team management is adamant that they are going to take that number 8 position as an extra, as an extra batter who can bowl a bit, sort of a thing. So somebody like a Shardul, if at all the conditions are suiting him, would definitely fit that spot, or an Akshar or a Washington Sundar. So all the 3, I mean, if you compare the 3, then Akshar and Washington Sundar, can you give more runs compared to Shardul Thakur? But I am a bit dicey when it comes down to the wickets because Shardul has that golden arm. Even you saw in the game against Bangladesh, because it seems to be out of nowhere, but he ends up picking wickets. So that's going to be a bit of a touch and go, because I think the team wants the batting order to be a bit long, because otherwise, if the top 6 or if just in the game against Pakistan we had top 4 failing, and that tail actually looks way too long. So I think probably they want to strengthen that batting lineup and have somebody who can bat at number 8, right?
Number 8. Yes, Junaid. In fact, in the game against Bangladesh, out of nowhere, they came very close. If not for Akshar batting at number 8, if I'm not wrong, or rather, even India having a long tail of Akshar and Shardul, they in fact got the game. Nearly, they won the game for India, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I would like to put it that way.
Yeah.
So that's definitely going to help India. In tougher wickets like Lucknow or Chennai, where definitely the ball is going to turn. In batting paradise, or rather in flat tracks, I think that the batsmen will get their runs.
Yeah.
But on tougher wickets, you need that batting, a smaller tail, or rather a good batting strength.
Yes, I mean, you could have those crucial 15-20 runs right at the back end of the innings, and that can just prove to be way too vital when you come out to bowl, basically. So what should be the strategy tomorrow if you win the toss? Win the toss, bat first, and put runs on the board straight away?
Yeah, Junaid, if you ask me, in a final, always runs on board are going to be pressure. In fact, especially if it's going to be a turning wicket, never mind if it's a batting paradise. There are there are a lot of chances where the team who are going to bat second will come all guns blazing and will go for the target straight away from ball 1. If it is a batting paradise, no doubt, go bat first. All your strengths, right? Both the teams know their strengths. Go back first, get a target on the board and straight away put a pressure on the chasing
because unit. the way they have chased against Pakistan, they don't look like a number 8 ranked team in ODI cricket. I mean, they seem to be pretty strong.
Correct.
Because their net run rate never went down. I mean, they were maintaining those 6 runs in over, though they lost wickets up front, a couple of wickets, and then that partnership between Kushal Mendes and Sadira for about 100 runs, I think, and then it was game on from there, and they never looked like losing the game from there on. And it was just a blip right at the very end. Otherwise, they were cruising along pretty nicely. So you cannot take Sri Lankan batting lightly, because they are playing, in their home conditions. So they are going to come out all guns blazing and pretty strong.
Definitely, Junaid. I feel that with as far as Sri Lanka's performance is concerned in this particular Asia Cup, to answer your question, they have nothing to lose, right?
Yes.
That's a very honest statement, because in the previous Asia Cup also, the T20 format which was held last year, nobody never really gave Sri Lanka a chance, right?
Yes.
And out of nowhere, they are giving their best. and they don't have pressure like an Indian team or like a Pakistan unit. They don't have the pressure of winning the tournament. So
Actually,
they are going to come in.
they don't have superstars in their squad. That's the thing, basically, because
True.
it's a
Like
team
they
that
are,
seems
as
to
to
be
before.
very well gelled in. It's a team that is fighting, playing for each other, perhaps.
Correct.
And that's the thing that you notice the moment you look at their spirits on the field, basically.
True, Junaid. And in fact, a very integral part of that unit is their skipper, Dasun Shanaka.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
never, people never really give him that credit.
Yeah.
He's actually, maybe on the field,
he's a brilliant captain. I mean, like, especially with the changes that he makes, when to get what bowler and stuff. So he does that pretty well. And the only thing that I have, I am a bit concerned about Dasun Shanaka right now is I think he is actually, in the game against Pakistan especially, he kept Dhananjay De Silva way too low down the order. He came ahead of Dhananjay De Silva. I don't know what was the logic and reason behind it, because maybe he wanted to finish that game off himself. That could be one reason, because he hasn't scored many runs. But other than that, his captaincy, and he was actually criticized a bit against India because people thought he got the spinners involved in the game after quite a bit of time, but to give him
correct.
due, because he went with the conventional approach, because he never thought the wicket would turn that much. When Velalage got the first wicket in the first over, I believe, of Shubman Gill, then he realized, and then whatever resources he had, he made the most of it.
He dealt it with well.
Yes.
True.
Asanka
He managed it really well. I mean.
Exactly. So win the toss, bat first for you, Rohit, tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%, Junaid. Because if it's going to be a turning wicket also, if you're going to get, say, 260 runs, that's going to be a winning score on a turner.
Makes sense completely. And what's your prediction?
Maybe I'll go with Deekshana missing out. I'll go India as favorites and maybe a win for India.
I think, I mean, even with Deekshana for that matter, I think India looks like probably, because they have got that momentum, because in the game against Sri Lanka, what I saw that, everybody was pumped up. I've never seen Rohit Sharma getting so excited after a wicket falls. So that was a breath of fresh air for me. So I think the team has got the momentum that it really needed before a major tournament. Yeah. And I think they would definitely fancy their chances here and would go on and win it.
So, yeah, definitely, Junaid. India look like hot favorites here. And if they can go with the win, with an icing on the cake, sign it off really well, a great star, great move towards the World Cup.
It's been a while since we have won a major tournament.
Major tournament, true.
2018 Asia Cup. So I think it's about time we win a multilateral tournament and then head into the World Cup.
Take the conference.
Yes. Rohit, I think we'll join post-match if possible. And thank you so much for joining. And I'll look to see further. And we'll have a few more conversations going ahead before the World Cup. Thank you so much for joining and taking time out. And I'll catch you back. Thank you.
Thank you, Junaid. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.